right now. It may boil into a controversy. And one more thing I can tell you, in one of the conversations that I had with few of my sources, they were pretty clear that the governor is on, he himself wants to go. So if he's asked by the center to go, he wouldn't wait here for a single day. He would go back to the state where he comes from.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see if this is indeed snowballs into that, the recall of the governor. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. Big setback for both Teesta Setalvad and former IPS officer R.B. Srikumar today after a Gujarat court rejected bail to both. In its observation, the court noted that Teesta was provided funds by political parties and she, along with others, hatched a conspiracy to defame then Gujarat government and then Chief Minister Narendra Modi. On Srikumar, the court noted that he misused his position and filed an affidavit against the government. The court has stated these as grounds to reject the bail. So Varun Singh continues to be with us. Varun Singh, one more indictment, it seems, or at least an embarrassment, something that will be seen as, mounting, not just the narrative or the opinion that most people had on what the activities of these individuals was, but even the courts are finding enough grounds not just to allow their arrest, but also to deny their bail. That has ramifications of its own.
When you read, as you pointed out, the exact point or notes that the judge said about the DGP, former DGP, as well as about an alleged activist, Teesta Setalvad, it is clear that there was a huge conspiracy that was being planted, and they have been successful because for 20 years they managed to keep the fire alive against an elected government. The notings of the judge are pretty clear that the DGP gave an affidavit. The DGP, who was in the power, who could manage everything in the state, was managing things in a way that it looks like that it was government-sponsored riots. And similarly, in 2006, when Zafri's wife filed her complaint, it has been categorically stated that these were two people who helped her in filing her complaint, in a way that it looks like that the government was behind the killing of her husband.
Varun, what is very extraordinary for the citizens to note is a lot of people already believed that this was a conspiracy. And of course, it has gone through a legal process, and the likes of Narendra Modi and others have got a clean chit, and that finality came from the Supreme Court. But your mind still boggles at the level of the conspiracy. That despite being out of power, as is the allegation in this case, the Congress, of course, it was in power at the center. The Congress was so strong that it could still do what it did, because the name of Congress leaders has been taken by the investigative agencies. And the court is also mentioning political parties here. So the mind still boggles of the power these individuals had to even surround a sitting chief minister. And the ecosystem was so strong.
You use the exact word that I was going to say, the ecosystem. The ecosystem was so damn strong that it could come out with any narrative, and the entire system. I have been a journalist for this is my 18th year or 19th year in journalism, and I can tell you there's a strong ecosystem that works behind and that can help you put any agenda that you design, you have designed, and it can be set out as a narrative that we have seen for such a long time.
Not just a narrative once, but an unending narrative, an unending
and for
campaign.
20 years they have had this campaign, and I can even tell you those people, even today, I somehow do not understand. There are many press associations that came out with a statement condemning the arrest of Teesta Setalvad. What standing do they have over here? These are the people who have helped in spreading this narrative. Money, especially coming from a Congress leader whose name has not just cropped up once, but every time whenever we hear about this particular case going in the court or being written by anyone. It is such a strong evidence, and it cannot happen until and unless the entire top leadership of a political party is involved. I think right now...
And even machinery of the government, frankly.
Yes. And
of
right
other
now,
governments.
We are scratching the surface. I think if a deeper investigation, which I'm sure will be carried out, we will have many other names that would come up, and it might come as a shock to many.
Varun, finally, can I ask you, as I end this discussion, do you really believe that as part of this investigation, eventually the big fish will be caught too?
I'm not just hopeful, but I'm sure that in the future, when the real names come out, it would not shock us, because now we have been like sort of been preparing for those names. But when it comes out, the big fish and all those countries which have been directly, indirectly, not countries, but people sitting in those countries who have been directly, indirectly trying to put a narrative, who wanted not Narendra Modi to go to US, who signed all those affidavits, who signed those letters, made people sign over here so that his visa gets rejected, his name gets spoiled. But he has come out victorious. I'm sure all those people behind it will be caught and they will be punished.
Well, that will be justice, isn't it? Because this is a campaign of this kind, a conspiracy of this kind is not just against individuals. It's against elected Indian governments, even the state governments, and the Indian system. We leave it at that. I do thank all of our guests for joining us and for our viewers for tuning in. Thanks a lot.